understand that you guys were a center-back pairing for a while with the U.S.
We've done some of that. Yeah, Greg and I played quite a few games. We're in quite a few camps together. I think Greg is about 8 years younger than me, somewhere around there, 7. So he was the young player, I was the old player. Actually, he was a player in his prime, and I was the old player. So we've definitely spent some time together. Greg he was a really, really solid center back who was as smart as any center back I've played with in terms of just understanding how to manipulate attackers. I think that was really his strength and really the reason that he had such a long career in Europe.
It's been a while since you've been part of a home opener here. Just talk about some, maybe any memories coming back?
Oh, 100%. We used to, one of my memories that I would love to see happen again, and we have a part in it and the fans have a part in it. When the team was playing really, really well and the national anthem would be sung and he or she could actually stop singing and the crowd would take it over, it was a feeling that just created goosebumps. And it's something that we always used to talk about. And definitely when the team wasn't playing as well, I think about 18 where after Champions League, we had all those struggles. The same enthusiasm from the crowd didn't exist. But when we are playing well and when the team is doing well and when the crowd joins in the national anthem, that is one of my favorite memories of being here.
Robin, what are you expecting from Chicago, Toronto, just from a tactical perspective?
When you think about when Greg had Columbus, they were at times unplayable. Their spacing is very good. They, again, this term I use, manipulation. Greg's teams were as good as they get at manipulating teams, trying to press them and then hurting you on the other side. And he's had this team only a short period of time, but I know it'll be that way again soon, and they've certainly had moments where they've been impressive that way. They have quite a few talented players, and they're playing very cohesively, so I know they'll be hard to break down. And because of the way they play, you have to be very alert to a lot of things because through their movement, they'll drag you into spaces and then exploit the spaces that you've left.
What's the health like of the team, Robin? You had quite a few defenders missing last time.
It's better. We have some guys who are coming back into health in terms of, are they completely ready to be on the 20? I don't have the complete answer for that, but there are a couple of guys who have come back. We'll definitely have more players available than we did last week.
We didn't see Richie, though, out there today, I don't think.
Yeah, Richie's injury is going to be, I would say, a medium-term injury. And when I think of long-term, I think of ACLs and long-term injuries, but his is going to be a medium-term injury. We don't know. I don't want to put a timeline on it because it could be shorter, it could be longer, and it's constantly being assessed, and he's obviously getting treatment and that sort of thing. But it won't be this week or next week.
Is it related to the same hamstring that he had the operation on?
It is the same leg. It is the same leg. Yeah.
And it looked like Henry Wingo was working it on his own during practice. I'm guessing will he be available?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't mean to be elusive. The answer, my first thought is no, but I should say I don't really think so. But it's good to see him moving at high speeds and that sort of thing. So I think he's pretty close.
I mean, when you took this job, obviously you knew you were coming into a team that's had a few rough years. I mean, how would you assess now that you've had some time to work with this team and see them in game action? What are some of the takeaways in terms of pluses and minus, strengths and weaknesses?
I said this earlier this week. I'd say the plus is character. I think there are a lot of really good, hard-working players who try to do exactly what's asked of them. And when they do, in the moments, I feel like we've had some pretty decent moments. I would say if we look at all 3 games, we've not started as well with the ball as we would like to have, but we've been defensively pretty solid. And when I think about the 3 games, I thought, as I'm watching what we're trying to achieve defensively, we're pretty good, we're pretty good, and then a mistake happens, or in this case, obviously the penalty kick last time. And I think part of when you reference, I knew what the team was like coming in. They've had some rough years for sure. And we just need to get to a point where we reward ourselves for some of this hard work, because when you work really hard and you don't reward yourselves and you end up, let's say, taking a goal, then I'm sure feelings start to flood back in. Here we go again, that sort of thing. So part of it is building resiliency within the group. And as much as I would like to hand it to them, that's the kind of thing that you have to earn. And we've had really hard-fought moments in games so far. And I think at the end of the day, as we're learning to play in the way that we want to play, which is a possession-oriented way, and as we're learning to get through that, we also have to grind. And I think that there's so much gained from just a hard-earned, fighting victory. And I think that's what we need at the moment, and that's what we're hoping for tomorrow.
How's the pitch?
It's not in great shape, I don't think. It's winter in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
And it's give the grounds crew credit. The field, it looks decent and playable, but we also know what this winter has been like, and I do think it'll chop up a little bit as we go. And it's Toronto in March, and we have to be able to be prepared for that and be able to play accordingly.
Well, when teams always play a little bit differently in terms of their approach, whether they're home or away. Side hasn't been overly conservative on the road, but should we expect something a little bit different here tomorrow?
Yeah, it's interesting when we play with, as soon as you say you're playing in a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2, the impression is, it's a defensive stance. I actually think 3-4-3 is a really, really interesting attacking formation. Bayer Leverkusen won with it last year. I think back to Thomas Tuchel's teams and Conte's teams in the Premier League. And I think when you get the angles right and the timing and the spacing and the understanding, I feel like it's a very attacking formation. Having said that, yes, we are at home, and we would like to be a bit more front foot than you are on the road. It's different when you're at home. And as a player, I used to always think, what's the difference? It's playing. You have to play well whether you're home or away. And as I've gotten older and probably less naive, I've come to realize that for whatever reason, when you're at home and your crowd's behind you, everyone's just a little bit better. Everyone's a little more energy. Better? Not always better. We've certainly played poorly at home, but you have more energy. And you come with that sort of mentality. And, it's one of the things we talked about. We want this place to be a very difficult place for opponents, and it's not going to just happen. We have to make that be the case.
Can I ask you what your night is the night before a game? Is the work all done, or are you able to relax? Are you watching film? Or
It's funny. Greg and I first coached together at Chivas in 2011. And the realization that we came to back then is Friday night is the best night of the week. It's the only night of the week you can relax because the work's pretty much done. And we used to talk about that all the time, that you can't wait for Friday. Everything's done, teams out, lineups, blah, blah, blah. Yes, there is a meeting before the game, but it's the one night that you kind of shut off. So, and especially when the team is playing well and doing well, Friday nights are very relaxing. We're still in a stage where there aren't too many relaxing nights yet, but we certainly hope they're coming.